Okay, all of the talk and all the things the war reminded me of everything about the Second World War, where I was much too young to appreciate anything, but there were different people fighting. I never understood that. So I'm going to read two things from my 2019 chapbook, World War World War II Baby, and they're a little different. This was Veterans Day in 2019. Veterans Day statistics. I live in a town of Yorktown, New York. It's a mid-sized lower Hudson Valley town with a population in 2018 of 36,900. If I multiply that by 1.5, I get 55,350. That's a lot of people. 58,220 Americans were killed in Vietnam, more than 1.5 times the number in my Westchester town. Something to think about as we approach Veterans Day. Then I have a completely different thing about the crazed person from my old neighborhood, who some of you people have heard about, and he's going to be the subject of an upcoming movie in the fall. From Inward Bar to a Great Book. November 1967, the story begins in Doc Fiddler's. The anti-war protests were heating up, and some of my old neighbors weren't having any of it. A super patriot bartender, the bit crazy, was one of the most upset. Those guys over there both think we don't support them. So he seized on a plan. Someone's got to go over there and buy them a beer. What? Go over there and what? He had it all worked out. He was going to borrow Merchant Seaman's papers from a good friend of mine, then go himself. The good friend, John Chick Donahue, only a little less crazy at the time, knew he couldn't give up his papers, so he said, I'll go. Then go he did with the list of locals and a lot of beer on an ammo ship, the SS Drake. On July 19, 1968, the Drake anchored in Queen, and Chick was off on his adventure. And 40 years later, it became a book. The book, the story of him hitching through a war zone in a mad shirt that made officers think he was CIA. The story of him conning officers that he was looking for his stepbrother to tell them that their mother had died. The story of him finding one local almost as soon as he got off the ship and thinking that it'd be easy for the rest. The story of him finding another in an ammo base and actually being picked up in the Jeep by another when he was hitching. Story got more serious when he reached the fourth on the front line and was issued a weapon when the enemy was sighted. The story got even more serious when he missed his ship departure and went to Saigon to look for another and got caught in the Tet Offensive. He eventually found the ship which took him to Seattle and a plane back to Doc Fiddler's. Since then, he owned a bar, worked at a Sandhog, and got an MPA from Harvard without having a college degree. The book is The Greatest Beer One Ever, a true story, Friendship Greater Than War by Chick Donahue. And it's going to be the movie in the fall. And the crazed bartender is being played by Bill Murray of Saturday Night Live fame. So, and the book has sold. He asked me how many books make it the good selling book? And I said, well, I don't know, Chick. I said, poetry doesn't sell that much, but a couple thousand, I guess 10,000 would be a really good deal. He said, well, I was told that the books sold 125,000. So God bless him. And my last that was written very recently, history. Some may not believe the story or even know it, but the Judeo-Christian Bible tells the story that in the beginning of the earth, there were only two people from creation, revolution, or wherever, a man and a woman. They had everything they needed: good weather, food, sex, no clothes, and the gods or spirit or nature had only one rule, and they broke it. So it was get dressed, get out, grow food, the labor to live. That was the real beginning. Supposedly they have two sons, and one decided that the other had more and killed them for it, and we're off and running. Since then, we've decided that the others, whoever they are, have prettier women, have more better land, worship the wrong God, or have a different color, or speak a different language, or have a threat for any reason, and might kill us if we don't kill them first. So we try to. We get better at it. Rocks, clubs, spears, swords, guns, cannon, planes, bombers, drones. We get more sophisticated, couching and killing, war to end all wars, war of liberation, a peacekeeping force. Never facing the real problem that since day one we've been totally fucked up and humanity is doomed. Thank you very much.